All right, so we have a super interesting topic for today.
Yes.
This topic came up when Adriana and I were at Adriana's talking some good stuff about relationships and partners and men and types and all that, and then we had like an aha moment during this conversation.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm gonna send this to a few
Oh,
Bellas I feel, yes, should be in this room right now, especially the single Bellas. So if you know any single Bellas, and even Bellas that are married or in a partnership or have a life partner or have, they're in a relationship, tag them in here because we want your input and we want their input as well. So if you know anyone who can get in the room, tag them. I'm going to go ahead and tag some Bellas as well. Because I want some ladies in here. We want some feedback. Adriana is, with her life partner, and she's going to share a bit of her experience in terms of, do we really have a type? Do women really have a type? And then the message here, it's pretty powerful. So we want to get as many ladies in here sharing as possible. And if you have any questions, make sure you hit that question icon at the bottom there. Send your questions. We're going to be answering whatever it is. Oh, let me get this Belle in here right here because her story is interesting. She ended up marrying somebody totally different than what she had even thought she was attracted to. So that's interesting. Um, okay. Boom. All right. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. So this is kind of cool. As you guys know, the topic for today is, do women really have a type?
Hmm.
Do women really have a type? Adriana, we didn't discuss how we were. Well, there's Adriana's type right there saying hi. So, right. So we're gonna let's start with you, Adriana. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Now, I want to ask, was D your type? When you met him, was he? No?
Not at all. I mean, sorry, a part of him was my type, and I'm talking visually at first when I first met him because I didn't know anything about him.
Start right there. Start right there.
Yeah.
Hold up. Start right there. Okay. So, when women think of their type, is that where they normally start?
Of course. To me, I would say for sure that would be the first thing, unless you were on a blind date or unless you were, I don't know, I'm sure there's apps nowadays when you don't see the person, you just have conversations. I'm sure that exists. However, if we're talking about simply looking visually, I mean, he's obviously an attractive man. And I mean, apart from his muscular shape, because I was always into muscular men, um, the rest of him at first was not typically my type. That's what I would say at first. So before, okay, go ahead.
No, go. You were
Okay,
going to
I was gonna
continue.
say back in the day, I always liked taller guys, and I was very, very attracted to dreads. Funny enough to say,
I remember when you told me that. I was like, really?
I was very, very attracted to dreads and very darker skinned men, which D has no dreads and is not
He's not dark
darker.
skinned. Okay. All right.
So I guess that would have been my type prior to meeting D, although I did date one lighter skinned guy before. But no, he didn't really fit my type in the sense of, also I really like the silent, laid back, the guy hiding in the corner of the room. And D was very outgoing and very social. So again, all those things didn't really define him as being what I thought was my type.
So now, question. You believed your type was the silent, laid back guy in the back of the room, possibly even bad boyish.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
okay. So when you go back and you think to that time where you believed you have a type, because Adriana, how often do we hear women say, he's not my type? And we have said,
Every
he's
day.
not my type. He's not my type. Just by
Every day.
literally looking at the person visually. Now, what do you believe had you believing that the laid back, quiet guy, bad boy, whatever, in the back of the room, didn't say much, attitude, whatever it was your type?
Well, I was thinking about this in the shower while getting ready for today. I was like, what am I going to say? But honestly, I would say that back then I was one, very broken, and two, didn't know a lot about myself, like the deep personal growth inside myself. I had a lot of that to do. And I was almost weirdly enough attracted to a similar negative personality like my father. So I had a lot of work to do on myself and a lot of self-loving to do to realize that a lot of the situations or relationships I were in were very toxic, first of all. Second of all, I was attracted to something that was really bad for me. So at the end of the day, I was like, well, why do I keep attracting these type of guys? And then I started thinking about, well, what do I like and what am I going to search for and what am I settling for at the end of the day? And that's when I realized that I was always trying to go for the same type. I was always trying to go for the same look, the same personality. And I wasn't broadening my horizons to be like, well, clearly that type is not working out. So maybe you need to open up the scope and really allow yourself to get to know someone else that may not physically right away be your type and see where that goes. And again, I'm talking initially, then you obviously get to find out someone on a deeper level. And that's where I think really the type should be, because at the end of the day, physical appearance will only go so far in what you consider a relationship. Because if you're solely basing it on the physical, that's not going to last. And people will change. People will look different. We age. We gain weight. We lose weight. Like all those things might change. But at the end of the day, the physical shouldn't only be what you're looking for in a partner and in a soulmate.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you said that. Two things. It's interesting that you said that about your father, because I do believe for most women, not all, most women, I work with women and I work with young women as well, teenage girls. So I know that it's the same for both in terms of what I'm about to share. So I too was attracted to the bad boy, real bad boy, like the most attitude. And funny enough, silent in the back of the room, didn't talk much, didn't, walked around, chip on his shoulder, was somewhat abusive in like even in, I mean I was only in one physically abusive relationship for all of my teens, Kino's father, but the others were like not physically and not emotionally, like words wise, but just in other little ways. And I found that it all went back to my father, but it took a long time for me to understand that. I didn't always believe that. I didn't always understand that. It was after, while I was on my healing journey.
Yeah.
And so not only was I attracting men who were like my father, who, by the way, ladies and fellas and bellas, for those of you listening, your first introduction to love is your mother and your father.
Yeah.
Now, when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you don't understand, you can't quite comprehend or explain to someone that your mom and dad don't love you or you don't feel loved. To you, that's all you know. So that is love. Parents in your mind, well, I got beat because I was bad. Well, my mommy loves me because what do they do after? They tell you they love you. I do this because I love you. My father, even sexually abusive. I do this because I love you. So in my mind, you know, when I was in that 6, 7 year relationship from 14 to like 21 with my son's father, that was love to me. When he was beating me and abusing me, you know, that to me was love. And I would say, oh, he does it because he loves me.
Yeah.
And I was attracted to that because I believed my father loved my mother. And I
Yeah.
believed he loved me. So I
Yeah.
went from my father to him. Now, as we're older, we understand that what we used to be attracted to, what I used to think was my type, was actually men who, like myself, were broken.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you become attracted to what you are.
Correct.
You feel it's what you're worth.
Correct.
So when we say, do we have a type? It's very interesting when women say, he's not my type,
Yeah.
or I do have a type. When in actuality, no. At first, it is the physical.
Correct.
It is the physical. But this is, we're going to take a turn right now because Adriana, we were talking about this. Hey, Lydia, we were talking about this. Okay. Now, when you first started dating D,
Yeah.
there were a lot of things outside of his physical attraction that you were like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Oh my goodness, right? Now watch this. Isn't it interesting how we say when we're dating, oh, I want first, never mind the height and all that we
Yeah.
claim. We say, oh, especially little girls, little short people, right? You're pretty tall, so you have a right to want a tall man.
Yeah.
I'm 5 feet, and I was convinced, I love tall guys, and my ex-husband was the only tall guy I ever dated. But I made myself believe that I was attracted to just really tall men. Okay.
Yeah.
So tall guys, I would say he's got to have money. I want him to take me shopping. He has to have a nice car. He's got to have a nice house, a nice place. All these things that I didn't even have,
Yeah.
that I didn't even
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. That's a really
Right?
good point. Yeah.
Okay. So we claim, yeah, but Stephanie, you're tall, girl. You are tall.
She's
You are
actually
tall.
not that tall.
Who, Steph?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which Stephanie is this?
That's my girlfriend.
Oh, I thought it was our Stephanie and Tia
No,
and,
no, no,
and
no, no.
Bella's.
She's really
Oh,
tall. Yeah.
oh my
That's a
God,
different.
their tag name is almost the same. Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was our Stephanie.
No.
So what's interesting about this is I I claimed, or we claimed, we liked a certain type and they had to
Yeah.
have all these things, right?
Correct.
I'll use my most recent relationship as an example. So I was single for a few years prior
Hmm.
to dating, and when he came along, he was complete opposite of what I claimed was my type.
Yeah.
Complete opposite of what I claimed was my type. Wasn't tall, didn't work out. I mean, started working out together, worked
Yeah.
out off and on, but had a little pot belly, skinny legs. Like it was so opposite of what I told myself
Yeah.
I was attracted to.
Yeah.
Okay. Worked 2 jobs. One of them, watch this. We spoke about this. Warehouse. That would have been like, oh my God, you work at a warehouse?
Yeah.
You work a
Yeah.
customer service job in your day
Yeah.
job? Like I would have, like, I think you think back and you're like, what gave me the right to even say that I would date somebody who's in a warehouse? He could have been like, well, I'm not trying to date no entrepreneur who's trying to build a business from home,
Exactly.
right?
Really.
Unless
Exactly.
she's making 7 figures or a millionaire. But, there were so many things that went against what I convinced myself I would not date.
Yeah.
So many things, even like what that person had going on, and
Yeah.
even in terms of like, oh, he's got to have his own house. He's got to have his own place. Uh, he was pretty much living with his mama,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
and I say this not in no disrespect. I say this to say, and this is where we're going, that what I was attracted to and what we had in common were the most important foundational pieces. One of them being our values.
Yeah.
Our values. So, Adriana, when you think back to Dee right now, and Dee was in a similar living situation. Actually, Dee was in a almost to a T, the same situation, right? Except you guys worked out, we didn't. Right? But when you go back now, you fell in love with a man who was complete opposite in terms of the drama he had going on in his life, his living situation, a situation with his ex, all complete opposite to what you thought you were looking for. Speak to that for a minute. I'm going to shut up.
100%. And my husband will confirm that because one of the first things I told him, because he was the one that approached me first, was "You're trouble. I'm not interested. You're trouble. I'm not interested." I think I repeated that to him the whole night. Like, I didn't even know him, and I could just tell. I could tell that, one, he attracted a lot of women because he was a very good looking guy. And not that I'm saying I want an ugly guy. Like, I always had what I thought to be good looking men. But like I said, he was very outgoing. He wasn't shy. He would go out there and get the girls, and all the girls would flock to him. So again, everything about him initially was like, I was like, alarm bells. No, no, you have kids. No, you have drama. No, all this stuff was a big no. But I can't even explain it. It was stronger than me. There was a connection at first that I just couldn't get him out of my mind. I could not get him out of my mind. And I'll be very honest, one of the first things that really, really attracted me to him was his honesty. Because I kept telling him all night, "You're trouble, you're trouble, you're trouble." And he was like, "Okay, I might be trouble. I have 2 kids, I have baby mama drama, I have this, I have that." And he just like poured out his whole heart and just told me everything the first minutes that I met him.
I would have been like,
No,
bye.
I was like, what the is wrong with this guy? But then after I started thinking about it, and it just wouldn't stop, because I was like, what do I really, really want in a relationship? Take away all the material things, take away all the physical, take away, like you said, the job, the car, the status, the money, take away all that. What do you really want? I said, I want to be respected. I want someone to be honest. I want to be loved, accepted. So I started looking at all those things that were most important to me beyond everything else. Because today, if you were to ask me, I wouldn't care if Dee didn't have a car, if he was driving
Yes,
a bicycle,
say that.
if I could come up at the bus stop. I would not care. And I don't care what kind of job he drives. Like, I drive, so what kind of job he works. Like,
yes.
I love him for the man that he is, and not for what he gives me, what he buys me, or what he drives, or what he owns. Like, all those things are not important to me at the end of the day, because all those things can, one, go away the next day. You can go bankrupt.
And you can build those things.
Exactly. You can lose all of those things, but you can't lose honesty unless, again, someone chooses to change who they are, or to deliberately choose to not be honest. But I mean, at the end of the day, the foundation of who he is as a man and who he is for me as a partner has not changed from day one. So all those exterior factors to me don't mean nothing. Like, I could care less if and I don't even want to name a job, because none of those jobs would matter. If he was working at McDonald's, I wouldn't care. I would be proud to be like, that's my man taking the orders at the drive-thru. I love him. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I would have his back regardless. So at the end of the day, I know really and truly it's his values and who he is inside as a person. And all that came after the fact, in the sense of, we started communicating with each other, we started sharing, and we started telling each other, like, I don't know, do you want kids? And if you do, how do you want to raise them? What would be your ideal way to raise your kids? And how do you want to be spoken to? How do you want to be loved on? How do you want to have a relationship with someone? Like, what's your ideal relationship? And everything we would share with each other had nothing to do with materialistic things or status. or anything like that. It was all like, we want to be able to grow together. We want to be able to share. We want to be able to be open with each other and forgive each other and not judge the person, because at the end of the day, we're all human. And like you said at the beginning too, you were searching for things in other people that you didn't have yourself. So really and truly, the journey, at least what I see in a relationship, is a journey that's done together. So maybe you guys first meet each other and you both happen to be broken people, which I'll be honest, both me and Dee were broken when we first met each other. But we both had those values inside of us and knew what we wanted to achieve for each of each other. But then we wanted to do that together in the sense of, okay, you want to be this person and you want to grow to be this person. Let's do that together and help each other out and grow and bloom into something together that is solid and that is strong and that is honestly unpenetrable, in the sense that I trust him fully. Like, I could throw him in a room with a whole bunch of naked, sexy women, and I wouldn't care. I'd be like, have fun.
Oh, I know.
Just
Oh,
because,
I know.
like, at the end of the day, I know what we have and I know what we've built together. And I even feel to the point that if one day it wasn't for him anymore, I feel like he would come to me and be like, I love you. I love everything we've gone through, but this is just not for me anymore. Instead of doing all the bad things that people do, lie, cheat, steal, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, this is my personal experience.
Yeah.
And what I, through bad experiences, learned that this to me was really the right way to go, and not basing it on a type or being very critical of someone, especially when you're not in those places yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was so well said, so well put. It's interesting when you said you wouldn't care if he, worked at McDonald's. I'm going to share something here. I want each and every one of you who are here, I want you to think of the relationship that you're currently in, the partner that you're currently with. You are madly in love with this person. You are with this person because you love this person. Okay. And if you are in a toxic relationship, well, you just get out. Anyways,
Yeah.
You're with this person because you love this person. So I want you to think for a moment. Would you have dated this person if, and maybe you did, maybe they were broke when you met them. Maybe they were living, in their auntie's basement, or in a, maybe whatever. If they were a garbage truck driver, listen, I see some of these garbage truck drivers come over here. Some of them are fine.
And they get paid well.
Okay, and do you guys know what they get paid? 40 something an hour to start. Like,
Thank you.
These guys get paid, right? So, you meet somebody, oh, what do you do? I'm a garbage truck driver. Oh my God, girl, he's a garbage truck driver. Ew. Like, I can't believe he was even trying to talk to me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now think of the person you're with right now. If that person lost their job, would you not love them? If that person lost their home, if they live on their own, whatever, would you not take them in or help them find a place or whatever? You would love them with nothing. So why is it that when we are dating, we are searching for a certain, they got to have a house, they got to have a car, they got to have a good job, they got to have money, they got to have this, they got to, no drama, no problems, no nothing. We can't have it all. Okay. No. We can't have it all. I think for me, now on my journey now, Adriana, the most important thing for me, it's not a type. Yeah. I don't have a type, because anytime the relationships I've been in were not my type. Not my type.
Yeah.
Right? So my ex-husband had the height, but he was moody and miserable, never laughed. Never, wasn't fun. It's just his personality. That was totally, now that I didn't even realize wasn't my type, because I didn't know myself, Adriana. And this is we're coming down to the basis of this message. Yeah. I didn't know myself. I did not know myself. So, upon dating at first, it was like, well, this is not kind of me, but I ignored it. I'm like, well, I have issues too, and I have problems too, and I got my own stuff too. So I kind of just ignored that. We also didn't have the same values.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is number one.
Yeah.
That is number one, the same values. Because in the end, if someone gets into an accident, if you lose your job, if you guys lose your home, if something goes down, it's your values that's going to sustain you. It's your values is the foundation that will make or break both of you. So now as the woman I am now, the woman I am today, and the woman I was just a couple of years ago when I was in this relationship, I went into that relationship whole. I was whole. I took time to heal. I took time to know myself. I took time to understand myself. So now when I think about it and I'm like, oh, my type is the quiet guy, the bad boy-ish kind of guy, the guy who has the house, the guy who has the car, the guy. No. As a healed and whole woman, I went into that relationship like completely against what I used to tell myself was my type. So his jobs, what he did, that I wasn't like, oh my God, you know what I said instead? Wow. Talk about an ambitious man who works hard, working two jobs day and night, great father, similar values, funny as heck. Like that is another very important thing. Are we that is definitely a type, because I married somebody who wasn't like that. So I know what it's like. Because for me, I wake up and I'm laughing. I wake up happy. I'm like this all the time. So to be with somebody miserable and moody, it went totally against my character and the things that are important for me. Laughter and joy are one of my values.
Mm-hmm.
That's on my list of values. Yeah. So, right, but guess what? I only got to know that through the few years that I've been healing. These last few years, 5, 6 years of like really coming to know myself, I realized that laughter and joy is very important for me. So that is a type, because it's one of my values.
Agreed. And you said it like you hit the nail on the head with, because you did that work on yourself. And that is something I find a lot of people don't do. They'll jump from toxic situation to toxic situation to toxic situation, thinking that that next person will heal you or will make you feel different, or will, again, you're kind of putting all that onto someone else. But really and truly, the work is done within first. And you really, and I think we've shared this in other podcasts or other shows, in the sense of date yourself, go out by yourself, go out for dinner by yourself, and really truly dig deep and see what you enjoy doing, what you enjoy in other people. What, like you said, you may have been with people that were miserable or had no personality, and it's not always looking for exactly what you are, but looking for what you like to be surrounded by.
Yes.
So me and Dee are two completely different people, but we both complement each other in the right ways, where he has a more fiery personality than me, and I kind of calm down that fiery personality in him. So if we were two fiery personalities, we probably would be at each other's throat.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
So, and a lot of that wasn't done right away. It was through communication and through learning how each person deals with different situations. Like, I knew him instantaneously when it came to a conflict, he would get fired. Me, I was the like level-headed one.
Yes.
But it was through communication that we realized that, and we were like, okay, well, I'll continue to be myself in those type of situations. I'll allow you to be yourself up to a certain extent, as long as there's respect involved. So I know he gets fiery, so I give him the space that he needs when he is upset. And then he'll come back to me and be like, babe, I'm sorry, I was too upset in the moment. Let's talk about it. So it's not necessarily like having a detailed list and being like, oh, he doesn't meet this list, so I'm scratching him off. It's a no, it's a no. No, you can still work with certain things that might not necessarily be on that list. It's just you can't compromise your own values at the end of the day. If he doesn't meet or she doesn't meet you on your value list, that's extremely hard to change, because deep down inside you'd be fundamentally asking that person to change who they are. And that's not fair either at the end of the day. You shouldn't be trying to change somebody upon meeting them either, because You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What is for you one of the most important things in a relationship? Like the most important, like what's most important to you when it comes to your relationship?
Like in relationship or dating? Like,
Maybe both actually, because you're dating. Well, not dating right now. I'm not trying to put out your your personal business, but you are available right now.
well, for the right person.
Of course. But you could give us that perspective kind of on both because me, I'm not dating. We all know
Yes,
that. I'm
yes,
off the market.
totally.
So
Yes, totally.
you would be able to share with us what you think is most important when you are dating and then also when you are in a relationship.
Okay. So for dating, um, we love you too. For dating, the number one thing, like, especially when you have already experienced it, there's no turning back. Number one, I don't care what anybody here wants to say, chemistry.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness,
I
Adriana.
agree.
Like, I talk to you
Hands
about this
down.
all the time. If there is chemistry, everything else flows.
I agree.
And people say, well, you can work on that. Hell no, not me.
No,
Not me. It
no.
is instant for me.
Yeah,
Why? Because when there's a soul connection, it's a different kind of chemistry.
agreed.
And if I'm not feeling that, there won't even be a second date.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
won't even be a second date. People don't give people, I get it all the time. Liz, you have so many restrictions. You've got so much things. No, I don't. Listen, one of the things that happened to me in the years that I've been healing and even from my last relationship, which was a year and 10 months ago.
Mm.
So I haven't been with anyone. I haven't been with anybody. So a year and 10 months ago, that's a long time. So even just saying in the last year and 10 months, how much I've healed and
Oh
even
yeah,
grew to know myself even more.
yeah.
But the chemistry thing is number one. I don't care if people say you can work on it. I don't believe you can.
I
I'm
agree.
not 25. I have enough experience to know that it's a soul connection. If it's not a soul connection, I'm not interested. Why, Adriana? Because I'm not interested in a one night stand. I'm
Yeah,
not interested in a short term relationship. I'm not interested. Listen, I'm not bored.
yeah.
I'm not bored, girl. Like even dating, I know I need to date, but even dating is a job in itself. I get so busy in my day with my business and my family and my circle and what we're working on that I forget sometimes, like, oh my God, yeah, I need to date. If I want to be with somebody, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to this. Chemistry is number one. And I know, Adriana, that for you and D, although
Mm,
those check marks weren't checked off, one thing you guys had was
100%.
freaking chemistry from day one.
From day one, hundred
Day
percent.
one.
100%.
Because when your souls are when your soul, it's almost like my soul knows this person. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't take 3, 4, 5 dates for that. It's instantaneous.
Oh, right away.
Like they look at you. I remember my ex just even looking at me and he touched my head like my brain surgery and it was like electricity went through my whole body.
Yeah,
It was instant. It's
yeah.
not something that I believe you can work on. And
No.
to be honest, I'm not willing to do that kind of work.
Well, no, because I almost feel like you're forcing yourself into something. You're forcing yourself to try to make something that just isn't there possibly come alive. But I agree with you because even at the end of the day, Dee would say the same thing because, like I said, he was the one that approached me, and to this day, he's like, I don't know what it was about you, but you just like lit up the room, and I just
He
had to.
told me.
It's like an attraction, an energy that was just like bing, 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 bing,
Yeah.
come to me,
Yeah.
and even though immediately I was like, no, 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 no. I don't know. It was just like, okay, there might be something. There might be something. But then my brain was like, no, he looks like trouble. No, he looks like this. No, he looks like
Right.
that.
Right. Yes. But remember what I said? What did I say, ladies, bellas, fellas? I said, when there is chemistry,
Yeah.
you can work on everything else.
Agree.
And we're not talking about toxic stuff, ladies. Listen, we're too old to be in toxic relationships. I'm sorry, right? And if you are, I'm praying for you because life is too beautiful to be stuck in a toxic relationship. But a normal relationship, when you have chemistry, you work on everything else.
Agree.
You can work on everything else because the chemistry is there. And at the end of the day, the chemistry is what builds the communication.
Agree.
It's what builds the fun. Like any relationship that where you're in that you are not having fun. Like I'm talking, and I don't, whatever. I want to laugh every day. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because I already laugh every day. Every day. My home every
You don't
night.
need anybody to laugh.
No, last night, even the boys were in my bed, beating each other up, laughing, giggling. That's the sounds I hear in my home 7 days a week, every day. So I already laugh every day. So if you're going to come and you're going to take that part away from my plate, oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
I
You
agree.
have to add to that. You're going to add to that. We're going to laugh together. So it's like, when you have that chemistry, you can build all the other things. You can build a business, a movement, a family, because the chemistry is there. So that is number one for me. Number one. Now, dating. In terms of like dating.
Yes.
I think it's very important, ladies. Stop thinking about what you think you want and what your type is, and get super, super clear with what you don't want.
Yes. That is so important. That is so true.
Yes. I tell my students this. Instead of thinking about what you want to be and what you want to do with so much pressure of everybody, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you get out of high school? Right? Think about and focus on what you don't want to be.
Yes. Yes.
So in dating, ladies, get clear with what you don't want. Biggest pet peeve for me. Biggest. There will never be a second date. Okay? You're talking about yourself too much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know that's a huge turn on for me, too. I've gone on dates like that where the guy is only talking about himself, and I'm like,
oh, my God. That is like, God, like a person who sits there and just, oh, I and me and I and me and I. And at the end of the day, they don't know if you have kids. They don't even know what you do for a living. You could be a freaking drug dealer, prostitute sitting there. They were too damn busy talking about themselves. They wouldn't even know.
They don't know anything about it. You didn't even put a word in, possibly, besides.
No.
Like, okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Nice.
Huge
I
pet
agree.
peeve. Huge pet peeve. Something that you will notice. I'm sorry, ladies, bellas, fellas, pay attention. Pay attention to that on the first date. Any advice for men? Who is this? De jour Chuck.
Oh, that's Dee's brother.
Oh, he was like, you guys are his favorite couple. We on here, peoples, we're on here too. DJ. Okay, I got one for you. I got one. What's his name again?
DJ.
DJ, yes. Okay, I remember that. DJ, I got one for you. So when you're dating, if you are dating, I don't know if you're single. If you're dating, when you go on a date, pay attention to what goes down on that date, the first date, okay? Is she talking about herself the whole time? Is she talking at all? How is she treating the servers? Ladies, bellas, fellas, this goes for both of us. The person you are on a date with, pay attention to how they're speaking to the servers. Pay attention to how they speak to the hostess. Okay? Pay attention. Those little small things matter. They matter. And are they just talking about themselves? Are they asking you any questions about yourself? Right? Another thing, pay attention to what they complain about.
That's a
Pay attention to how they speak about their ex. Now listen, some of us have got some real
bad ones.
Situations. Not me, but okay. So just pay attention. Like, is a man or a woman degrading their ex? oh, she's a B, did this, that, you know, putting all the blame on that ex, you know, pay attention to these small things. Pay attention because those small things are going to matter. You know, when I think of like, and listen, when I talk about my ex-husband, Bellis, you need to know, I love him dearly. He is my brother. Okay.
This
He's
is
my
a fact.
brother. Like, yes.
I've seen them in action.
Yes, we were meant to be friends, okay? Like whatever, you know, when I use that as an example, it's not to put him down at all. Like, oh my God, no, at all. I don't want anyone to think that. But when I think about our first date, our first couple of dates, he never asked me any questions about myself. Q, if you're on here, you can vouch for this.
I was going to say, did you allow him to not ask questions about yourself? Because I could totally see you being like, well, since you're not going to ask me about me, I'm going to tell you about me.
No, I was right away, like in my mind, I'm like, he's not even asking me anything about myself, you know? Like, you know, that was all. So this is what I mean by pay attention to the first dates, because normally the things that are going to become a problem later were there from the beginning.
I agree.
Okay? We didn't have the same values. He was very serious, like very serious. And like, I would crack jokes and I think I'm kind of funny sometimes, right?
You are.
So I'd be like laughing by myself and I'm like, this is boring. Like, but guess what? I stayed. We had a child. We got married. We had a child, right? We got a house. We fostered a lot of children together. We had a ministry together. Like, I stayed. Was I happy? No. Was he happy? Probably not. Because if one person's not happy, the other isn't happy.
Yeah.
Right? So
Agreed.
first dates. Let's go back to some of these comments. So those are my things. Those are my pet peeves and what I think are most important with dating in a relationship. I pay attention if she's considerate. Watch my pockets too. Oh my God, that's another one. Oh my goodness, that's another one. That's another one. Fellas, that one's for you guys. Listen. Okay, she gets in there and she starts ordering the most expensive steak on the menu. She orders a bottle of champagne, a bottle of whatever. No, I'm sorry. No. I'll tell you why. As a woman, I'm not going to, first of all, I don't like steak. I am kind of a cheap date. But I don't like steak. I do like seafood though. Right? But you know, the ordering thing, I wouldn't do that. Now, having said that, if you say to her, if you were to say to me, hey Elizabeth, you want to grab a bottle of wine? Let's get a bottle of champagne. That's completely different.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Right? But her, like, oh, you want a drink? Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get the
most expensive thing on the list.
I'm gonna get the bottle of Henny, not a glass of Henny, the bottle, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a champagne girl, so I don't know what the champagnes and wines are, but that is a no-no. I don't think that is cool at all, and that does, to me personally, I think that speaks volumes.
I was going to say that really, to me, shows me their intentions or what their desires are at the end of the day. And it's actually, and again, I don't know if I should open this kind of can of worms right now because it might bring us to another hour. Maybe we could do a different topic on this. I think a lot of things are glorified right now in society, whether that be materialistic things, if the guy's not paying for your bills, if he's not buying you jewelry, if he's not buying you purses, alongside sexual activity. So a lot of people might sleep with someone.
This is a whole other life.
Like I said, I didn't know if I should go into this, but a lot of people might go into their first date and have a one-night stand. And again, if your thing is you don't want anything serious right now, you're just sleeping with people, that's your thing. But if you are trying to find something serious and you're just sleeping with anybody, how are you going to find something serious if you don't even know the person yet? You're giving them your most intimate self, and you wake up next to this person to find out that they're the complete opposite of what you want or what you're trying to attract or what you're trying to go for, but you've already given all of you to them. So now it's like, then actually the opposite might happen. Some people get really attracted to someone because of the sexual activity, but mistakenly think that there's chemistry there because there's
Lust.
sexual chemistry.
Lust. Yeah, lust is different. Yes.
Exactly. So
Yes.
then outside of the bedroom, there's zero chemistry. So then they just keep trying to bring everything back to the sex. The sex.
Girl, you know I'm gonna stop you right there because that's our next episode. Are you forgetting our list of episodes that we announced last week? You need to stop right there. We're not doing that right now, okay? Because that is too juicy, and I need to get mentally prepared for that one.
Yeah, that is a very juicy one.
That is, by the way, our next episode. Sex on the what's it called? Sex on the first date, or
no, I think
sex before marriage, sex on the first date, or celibacy.
Yes,
I think that's
something
it.
like
yeah,
that.
And that's gonna be juicy because we're gonna talk, okay? No, we're not holding back. So we got some questions here because I know this is gonna kick us out soon. Let's address some of these questions. DJ, hold on. He said, first dates are tricky because everyone puts their best face on. Yes,
that's
now
true.
I do agree with that. However, those little tiny things.
Red flags, I call them.
Red flags. Is she moody? Is she selfish? How does she treat the people around her? Right? So yes, you can pick up on some small things. You can realize everything from the start. You have to focus on yes, me too. We need 2 bottles. We need 2 bottles, please. Yes. Well, guess what? If that's your thing, girl, then let it be, right? I just prefer for, you know what? I'm very, both Adrienne and I, we're very different, but we're very much alike. And that's why we're soul sisters, soul friends. But I am very attracted to an alpha man. I'm very attracted to power. It's just, I didn't say money. I said power. Okay. Which is confidence. I'm very attracted to an alpha man, and nothing attracts me more than him taking the lead on that date. Hey babe, I'm going to get us a bottle of champagne. I'm going to get, pull out the big menu, because we're at a nice place maybe, or, we're not at McDonald's. So we can go to McDonald's on our 4th or 5th date. I'm not kidding. I don't mind that kind of stuff. But, and he's like, so what do you enjoy drinking? Okay. All right. So let's get a bottle of, is that good with you? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Oh, I'm already like, yes. Okay. So I'll let him suggest it. I prefer that. Than to say, can I get a bottle? That even sounds weird.
I couldn't picture myself say that.
Right. How about the first date bill? Do you go splits or make the man pay? I would totally help with the bill. First bill, if it's a date, like I said, I love the alpha man. I love an alpha man. So first date, yeah, I would. And guess what? The second, I am so that woman that's like, hey babe, let's grab a bite, my treat, or let me take you to eat. What are you doing for lunch? Okay, I'm going to come by. I want to take you for lunch. That is so. The first, because I love that alpha man, because he's going to pay. That's for me. What about you, Adriana?
I have a quick question for you on that. If he didn't pay though, would you scratch him off? If everything else was great, but he didn't offer to pay.
Done. You'll never see me again. Done. No. That's just me.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Adriana. More than likely, he asked me on the date.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
More than likely,
Ideally, I would like for the man to pay on the first date, especially if he asked me out. But I am just that way. I would offer to pay half.
See what I mean by we're different, guys? You see what I mean? This is good.
Yeah,
this is good.
I would offer to pay half.
Okay, hold on. The next show, D said, yes. Well, we need to find out if the chemistry is all the way there. How? When? Oh, I think he's talking about sex. Oh my God. We're going to save that, DJ. Okay. Yes, the tiny things matter. Sometimes people have to get a little comfortable. So should we really knock people off after the first interaction? No. But chemistry. If there's chemistry, if there's no chemistry, oh my God, have you guys ever been around somebody on a date where it's like, there's no chemistry? And by the way, chemistry is silent.
Yes.
It's silent. It's not an
Yes.
action. It's not a thing. It's a soul thing, man.
It's an
Believers
energy.
say, yeah, yeah. It's there you go. It's an energy thing. It's an energy thing, DJ. I'm here, Elizabeth. I'm here. What's going on here? Are you flirting? No.
He's definitely flirting with you.
Oh God. Okay. I'm with you, Liz. That's bad. Elizabeth Lafon. Splits isn't bad. Oh, you mean for the bill?
Yeah.
Oh well, I guess we ain't going on a date. Yes, she would. Dee said, yes, she would. And listen, like I said, we're so different, but we're so alike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's different. We can't knock people for saying,
No.
I want him to pay, or no, come on. That's not fair, right? Everybody,
No.
we're all our own individual, right? So we have the right to, say what we want and do
100%.
really what we want or what we
Yeah.
feel is right. This was good. This was so
I was
good.
about to
We're
say
going to get going out soon. We want to say thank you so much for those of you who were here. Our next one is going to be good. Juicy. Real good. Okay. Because listen, I know of couples who had sex on the first date and they're still together and
Yeah.
they're married.
Yeah.
And they're married. So this is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about celibacy, sex before marriage, sex on the first date. Those three things. So DJ, make sure you come back.
Yes,
We will be back on Monday. On Monday, 12:30, I believe. Is it Monday? Normally, so we didn't do this yesterday because of the lockdown. I mean, sorry, the shutdown, the Instagram, Facebook shutdown. But normally this is every Monday at
12:30.
Yeah,
Yes.
12:30. So meet us back here. We're gonna spill the goods and we're gonna be open, real, and raw.
Yes.
We love you guys. Ciao. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so appreciated. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.